was almost dusk, and my chickens were still out, like all over the backyard, acting as if it was spring. They're like, we're ready, we're gonna eat, we're gonna do all these things. What incited them to do that? Because, first of all, chickens can't really see in the dark. And so that's why they go back to their coop right before it gets dark out. And they, get ready for bed. They're really smart that way. They don't have, generally speaking, chickens don't have electricity or flashlights. So they were all out pecking away at the ground, spread out all over, like relaxed. Nothing, no big deal was going on. Almost as if it was spring, as if the spring had sprung already. It was not warm. It was in the 30s. So for them it was still pretty cold, and it dropped down into the 20s at night. What were they telling us? Well, there were a couple things they were telling us. Number one, they're ready to eat more food. They're ready to do more. The second thing they were doing is they were saying, and the daylight is fading and our predators have gone to bed. So we're safe out here. We can spread out. We don't have to hide under the trees. We don't have to behave as if we're afraid. So those are the things that our chickens were telling us. What else that tells us? I mean, we see the hawk out hunting in the late afternoon. We know that there's danger. And what they're telling us is we are evolved. We're smart chickens. We've been watching these things for a while. We know the drill. And we know that as the night gets darker, we need to make our way into our house where it's safer and warmer, and we will survive the night. That said, we've had a few chickens who, they just don't make it back in the house before dark. And they will sit right by the door waiting for dark. I don't know why. Maybe they don't feel welcome inside. What's the truth here is these chickens are ready for spring. They already know that daylight is longer than it was back in December. It may be only by a few minutes, but they already know that. They are already ticking that clock off. They can tell that daylight is bigger. What's that mean for us, for them? It means growth. It means there will be growth in the plants. It means there will be growth in their food sources like bugs. Bugs will be reproducing and they will have bug babies to eat. This is the cycle. This is a typical normal cycle of the annual rhythm. Animals are getting ready for the coming of spring. Their bodies are getting ready. They are preparing themselves for better nutrition. They are preparing themselves and that's why, as a sidetrack, that's one of the reasons why more people find it easier to get themselves in shape in the spring. Because there's more daylight, there's more nutritious food, and daylight makes you more happy because vitamin D, there's so many things, and that whole cascade of happenings in the spring. And people are leaving comments in the chat that are maybe not even relevant, but I can understand if you're having difficulty with your life. Think about this. There's so much to go toward. There's so much growth to move toward. When you make a decision to say, I know this is the spring. I know this is when we all feel better. I know that this is when, if I get out in the sunlight and move around, my thoughts change. Not only do my thoughts change, so do my actions. So thoughts precede actions, and actions tell us so much about our future. If you're a veterinarian or a chiropractor and you have not added animal chiropractic to your practice yet, and you want to help those animals in your practice to have better motion so that they have better lives, less stress, less depression, less illness, less injury, find us today at animalchiropracticeducation.com.